Good afternoon and welcome to Second Take. Today we'll be talking about the Seattle Seahawks and their chances on making it back to the Super Bowl, and how Dallas is an accident waiting to happen. But first, we'll be discussing Peyton Manning breaking the record for most career touchdowns thrown, and what it means to his argument for being the best quarterback to ever play the game. So, Jared, you think Peyton Manning's still one of the best quarterbacks?
All right. I think that Peyton Manning is a very good quarterback. He's not great because of his playoff and Super Bowl records, but the 510 touchdowns is very impressive, and I don't think he's nowhere near to be done in his career. But I don't think he gets to where Montana or Brady has gotten to in their careers because of the targets that he's been given his whole career. I mean, Reggie Wayne, Harrison, Demaryius Thomas, Eric Decker, Welker. I mean, all of those guys are just great.
Yeah. Nick?
See, I think that, I understand what you're saying in that reference, but also I think that because he's on the Broncos now, it gave him targets. So I think that before, people, they kind of, he was obviously a champion in Indianapolis, but I think people kind of forget the fact that he didn't have huge targets in Indy. He had good players, but he didn't have the targets that he has now in Indianapolis. So, he has more targets now than he did in Indianapolis, and I think that they're stronger players. So he's thrown a lot more touchdowns now, also because the running game of Denver isn't strong. So I think that having more targets to throw to definitely helped him get his touchdowns a lot quicker. But I don't think he has many years left, and I don't think he's going to be on this team long enough to sustain the amount he needs to keep moving up. I mean, obviously it's a huge milestone. I'm not taking that away from him, but I don't think that he will go past where he is now.
Do you guys think that this milestone boosts up his rankings, or do you think he's still not better than Tom Brady, Montana because of the Super Bowls?
It definitely boosts his rating. I think he's number 3. If you look at some other guys who probably were ahead of him at the time, Dan Marino, very good quarterback, Terry Bradshaw, Johnny Unitas, all good quarterbacks. But this is significant. If you're scoring points, I mean, you're winning games. I mean, the playoff record. I mean, losing two Super Bowls, 12 playoff games, and only winning 11. But still, I mean, he's a phenomenal quarterback, really good.
All right, now on to everyone's favorite subject, the Dallas Cowboys. Nick, you think they're gonna finish the second half strong, or they're an accident?
I'm not jumping on the Dallas bandwagon at all. I don't they're a good team now, but I mean, Murray, he's always on and off. I mean, he gets injured all the time. He's not a very durable player, so I can see him getting injured in the next few weeks. If that happens, the whole team goes down. I mean, because Romo is not as good as people say he is. I don't know. I don't see. He makes dumb mistakes a lot of the times that I don't think a quarterback of his level should be making. I mean, yeah, you look at the fourth quarter comebacks, they're high, but also the fourth quarter losses are high too. And the Cowboys just have the name of losing it in the end or in the mid-season and just going downhill. So I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna have a good season. I think Murray's gonna have a great season. Obviously, he's already had a great season. But I don't think that they're going to have the season to bring them playoffs or beyond. And I definitely don't think they're going to make the Super Bowl and they won't win it.
Yeah, they are the Cowboys. And DeMarco Murray, if he keeps getting as many carries, eventually he's going to get run down. And then all the pressure is going to be on Tony Romo to make a pass to whoever he has. Des Bryant, I mean, great receiver, but it's Tony Romo. I mean, he's got to throw a pick. He's got a lot of games in the fourth quarter where he's thrown interceptions and just blown it. So I think they'll get to the playoffs. I don't think they're going to beat Philly for the division. But even if they get to the Super Bowl, I'm not saying they will, but right now they're looking like Super Bowl contenders. But they are Dallas, and they will.
Yeah, you never really know.
Nick, you think the run game with Murray will help Tony Romo not throw as much, so there'll be less picks and break the history?
I don't know. Romo, I mean, as much as Murray runs, it's like when he does run, they're like long runs. They're not short runs that they keep stacking on. So it's not like they run the ball a large amount. I think that Romo still throws the ball, so he has enough time to make his mistakes and throws interceptions. But I do think that Murray will give them a good vibe, and I think that might affect the team. Receivers, like how you feel about yourself, confidence. I think that might affect it. But I don't know if Murray running the ball well is gonna actually take chances away from Romo to throw his picks or throw his touchdowns, whatever he does. I think that what it's going to do is change the confidence in the team, make them feel better about themselves because they have a history, obviously, of losing. So I think that would definitely improve their confidence.
All right, thanks, Nick. And when we come back, we'll talk about Seattle's chances of getting back to the Super Bowl or even making the playoffs.
Second take is sponsored by Gatorade. Win from within.
Hi viewers, Ben Mazzoni here from Killingly High School. Do you need something to hold those pesky keys and keep them from falling out of your pocket or becoming lost? Do you want something to hang around your neck or out of your pocket to make you look cool? Or do you just simply want something that lets everybody in school know that you drive? If you answered yes to any of these, you need a KHS lanyard. So come on down to the school store for all your lanyard needs.
All right, welcome back. Jared, what do you think Seattle's chances are making it back to the Super Bowl or even the playoffs?
All right, this year, coming off last year's amazing season against the Broncos in the Super Bowl, beating them 43-8. They're at 500 right now. They just got rid of their biggest receiving target. And I think that they'll have the momentum to get into the playoffs. Their playoff record, I don't know how it's going to shape out because Russell Wilson, he can't do everything. I mean, he just ran for 100 yards and threw for 300 yards without Percy Harvin. I mean, that's just incredible. And Lynch ran for 58 yards. We need at least 90 to 100 yards from Marshawn Lynch. But, I mean, the defense can only do so much. Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, and those boys. But Russell Wilson, he's got the biggest load right now, and he needs to figure out as a quarterback to get over that hump and get into the playoffs and start winning some games.
I kind of agree. The only difference is, I think that the season, it does reflect what's going to happen in the playoffs, but I don't think that the playoffs are a direct match to the season. Because obviously playoffs makes a big difference when it comes to, winning games. So I do think that I have no doubt, Seattle will definitely make the playoffs. I don't think anybody would accept less than that because that's ridiculous if you win the Super Bowl with that caliber of a team and not make the playoffs. I think that's key that they will. But I don't think that they're going to make it as far as some people think or that they did last year. Absolutely. I do not think they're going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think they can make it to the Super Bowl. I don't think they can make it.
I do not think they will make it to the Super Bowl.
Oh my God. Okay. I don't think they can make it to the Super Bowl. It's just San Diego is a much better team this year than last year. I think they're going to have a big.
Yeah.
That's going to be a problem for Seattle. I mean, they just got beat by the Rams last week, and
Yeah.
I mean, I've had faith in the Rams all year, but last week I was like, I mean, I still thought the Rams were going to win, but the Rams have not been what I thought they were going to be, and they still beat Seattle. I don't think that would happen in the playoff scenario, but I think another big thing is that Seattle won't, if they continue the season they are going, they won't have home field all throughout.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If they have home field, I think that
They
can get
could.
rid of if they play a wild card team because they won't get the number 1 or 2 spot in the West. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
But if they'll get the wild card game. Then the divisional game, I think if they have home field, they'll get it. The conference game, that will be a different story.
That'll be
because they won't have home field for that.
I don't think they'll have home field for the conference game either. I don't. They might be able to get the division game. They probably will. They'll definitely have a wild card. But you're right. I do not think they'll win I don't think they'll win their conference at all. I think Denver, going kind of the side of who they would face off against. I think Denver has a much better team this year. Actually, they've been playing a lot better, and I think that if a Super Bowl if that were to come up again, Dallas versus Seattle, Denver versus Seattle, I think that it would be a different outcome. Not that Denver would win, but that it would be a much closer game.
It would be a much closer game. Yeah, definitely.
Jared, do you think that with over the past years they've been losing all the best receivers like Harvin, Sidney Rice, and Golden Tate? I think they have enough young talent like Brandon Lockett, Jermaine Kearse, Doug Baldwin. I think they have enough talent in them to be good receivers.
See, now with Brady, last year he had Tompkins and what was the other guy's name?
Dobson.
He made them. They weren't great receivers. I mean, I think that the Seattle targets are better, but Brady made those guys look better than what they were. So I think it's going to be on Russell Wilson to put the ball where it needs to be, so these guys can make a show for themselves and show the league that they can play.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, it's really, I mean, they say that, I mean, yes, it takes a team to win, but if you don't have a quarterback setting the standard and putting the ball in the hands of the receivers, it doesn't matter who you are. Like, Brady was a perfect example. I mean, he took someone like Julian Edelman and, well, Tompkins is gone now, but I think Dobson's going to have a good career. He's not bad. Like, a quarterback like Brady that can shape a receiver into something great, I mean, Edelman had a Welker season last year. He had over 1,000 receiving yards, and he had a lot of catches. I think it was really high. It was over 100. It was definitely over 100. I mean, and that's a guy that never played. He started on the bench. I mean, he was on and off. He almost got cut at least 3 years in a row. So going back to Russell Wilson, you need to shape your receivers. It doesn't matter how bad or how good they are. You need to put that ball in their hands. You need to shape them to be a high-playing wide receiver, a very skillful wide receiver, to win games. And I don't know. Russell Wilson could have that. He hasn't proven it yet. No. But he's still young, obviously. He hasn't had to yet. You're right. He had Percy Harvin. That was key that they lost him, and now
Sidney Rice was good until he hurt his knee, but
he had good receivers. Now he's got new guys that he needs to work with, and he's gonna have to prove it to us.
Jared, do you think that San Francisco will actually get past the championship this year or make it to the championship this year?
No, because I don't have any faith in Colin Kaepernick. No. I think you need a quarterback that can throw the ball. As good as he is at running, I don't think a running quarterback is the new generation of quarterbacks still.
No.
It might get there one day because of all of the athleticism we're seeing in college, but right now you still need a throwing quarterback. I don't have any faith in Colin Kaepernick right
Absolutely. Now. Like Russell Wilson, I actually am a fan of Russell Wilson. He's good on his feet. He can run if he needs to, like he ran 100 yards last game, over 100. But he can throw the ball so far. Yeah. Colin Kaepernick, when he throws the ball, it almost makes me laugh. Like the way he throws is just so weird, and it looks weird. He looks like he needs to be a wide receiver. Like he's just big, he's tall, he runs fast. He just, I don't know. There's something about him I just don't like, and I'm not a San Francisco fan, so it is a little biased. But there's just something about him I don't really like, and the way he presents himself, scoring touchdowns by himself. I've seen times when there's a wide open wide receiver and he runs it and gets a touchdown. I mean, that's just not.
It's not going to happen against.
No, it's not. A good team won't let that happen.
Good defense, not going to.
You need to have a quarterback that can throw the ball down the field.
Especially against Seattle. I mean, if it's a conference game between Seattle and the 49ers, even if the 49ers have home field, if Colin Kaepernick thinks that he's going to be able to run against Seattle, I mean, he's got a new story coming because he's not going to be able to do that. And his arm against Richard Sherman and Chancellor and Earl Thomas, he's not going to put the ball in the right spot.
Yeah, last year, how the game ended. Yes, Richard Sherman made a good play, but really it was more Kaepernick not making a great throw.
Yeah, Kaepernick, he could have made a better throw. I mean, it was right on the line in the end zone, so it's a tough throw to throw over a receiver's shoulder and get it over the corner. But it was a weak throw on his part.
All right, that will do it for us. Second take for myself, Nick, and Jared. Good night, and thank you.